Temba Mliswa has posted on his X account. He seems to be giving a different version on what transpired to the cabinet meeting, which endorsed Emerson Mnangagwa's ambitions to remain the president up to 2030 by actually approving the so-called Bill number 3 of 2026. It was of 2025 because it has been failing through the efforts of retired General Chiwenga to block it. Temba Mliswa claims that Chiwenga has been defeated because he was only supported by a single minister, that is Minister Senyatwe, during the cabinet meeting. And other ministers seems to be on the side of Emerson Mnangagwa. He also goes on to celebrate the death of Blessed Geza, saying his death symbolizes the actually victory of Emerson Mnangagwa. But I'll be demonstrating that it's far from being over. I think it's too early for Temba Mliswa to celebrate at the moment. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. So, Temba, through what he calls Subbook's Eye, and the topic being a moment of either uphold integrity or seize the theatricality. I think AI is helping Temba Mliswa a lot. So he writes the following: the recent endorsement of the constitutional amendment number 3 bill by the cabinet ought to stand as the definitive signal of the futility inherent in any efforts to pursue an alternative agenda, particularly from within the party. He says credible accounts emerging from the meeting indicate an unequivocal consensus among cabinet members in favor of the bill, with the sole dissenting voice being that of Minister Senyatwe. This presents a perilous predicament for Vice President Chiwenga, who, after persistent interjections, so that is what Temba Mliswa says, faced admonition from President and compelling him to adhere to protocol and to apologize. His impassioned quest for a vanishing target, characterized by conflicts with comrades, is lamentable indeed. So the fact that Temba Mliswa is still on the attack mode of retired General Chiwenga, I mean, he cannot be on the attack mode if he indeed apologized, if he indeed bowed to Emerson Mnangagwa. The fact that he continues to trek for the job that he actually was hired to do, it shows that what he is saying is actually the opposite. Mnangagwa still views retired General Chiwenga as the threat. It also continues, as a politician who purports to uphold principles, Temba Mliswa talking about Chiwenga and higher values, it will be prudent for him to consider resignation from a position that contradicts his supposed convictions. So he still continue with this old and tired. Do you think retired General Chiwenga takes advices from Temba Mliswa? I think he must be smoking something too high. He continues to say such a course of action delineates the distinction between genuine revolutionaries and opportunists who engage in superficial theatrics to manipulate the masses and seize political power. Oh, seize political power. Now he agrees. He agrees that he will definitely seize political power. He continues to say, one who firmly believes in, I mean, why is he forcing retired General Chiwenga to resign in the first place? Why should he resign and leave Emerson Mnangagwa doing as he please? Mnangagwa should play his game. Maybe he should fire him and see what may actually follow when he does so. not to be sending Temba Mliswa to actually ask Chiwenga to resign. It's a failed actually attempt. It is now getting tired. He continues to say, one who believes firmly in what he proclaims should be ready to take a stand for it to the point of renouncing his former position and comrades. No, he should not fighting Mnangagwa does not mean one should renounce his position. Why should he renounce his position? It's okay to be in that ZANU-PF and confront him directly, sit in that Politburo, make him to be uncomfortable, tell him in his eyes. It's I mean, Temba Mliswa is so desperate. He continues to say his current exhibition of double is not a double standard. Chiwenga has remained speaking against corruption. He has remained speaking against 2030. Against 2030, he has remained saying what we fought for. Even since in 2017, he said he was dealing with corrupt elements around Robert Kaplan. He has been fighting corruption, no double standards from Chiwenga so far. He has been consistent in terms of fighting corruption, defending the gains of the liberation struggle. That has been his messaging from the onset, since he resigned from the military, since he was in military, since he resigned from the military and took over the deputy president. The man has been speaking the same language in spite of numerous attacks in ZANU-PF and also attempts to assassinate him and silence him. He has remained consistent. I think there is nobody who has been consistent more than him. A double standard person is Mnangagwa, who tells Zimbabweans that in 2028 he will relinquish power, who tells the world that Zimbabwe has a constitution, the president is given 10 years, the maximum. Afterwards, the president is supposed to leave power, but he still wants now to manipulate the constitution. That is a double standard man. A double standard man is a man who is assisted by the military through a clause in the constitution. And when he gets into power, he wants to actually get rid of that clause which helped him to be in power today. That is double standard, and not what Temba Mliswa is speaking about. Now he continues to say his current exhibition of double standards, attacking and benefiting from the same system. So we are back again. Apologies for the break in transmission. So I will continue from where I left. So he says his trail of losses from the Taguiri Central Committee blockade, Opetimpo for firing, Mudares People's Conference, army reshuffles, demo flops, down to the recent cabinet shellacking should be statement enough for him that he lacks support. Really? Are you sure, Temba Mliswa? His inability to rally backing during the General Conference, Central Committee, Politburo, and Cabinet illustrates a bleak reality. Where then lies the intent? Okay, he says, I don't know where actually. So he says, where then lies, he says, his inability to rally be backing during the General Conference, Central Committee, Politburo, Cabinet illustrates a bleak reality. Where then lies the internal support necessary to propel his political aspirations. Even in Mashonaland East, he struggles to garner the requisite foundational backing. One does not ascend the political hierarchy reliant upon external allies from a faction of Philistines. The opposition. So the opposition are called Philistines now. When one's own kin within the Israelites. ZANU-PF is Israelites. I don't think Israelites would love to be actually associated with this evil. ZANU-PF failed to acknowledge him. He says the bill has now given to Ziambi as leader of government business in parliament, and he is one tenacious politician who will drag the whole project to its fruition. Really, he is a bull terrier which remains locked onto the target. Complemented by the Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Jacob Mutenda, called the headmaster for the order he brings. It's a powerful arrangement, really. As it stands, the curtain has fallen. Oh, listen to this. Politics as a distinct discipline. As I have previously contended, the discourse surrounding the Vice President's military background is misplaced. This current domain is fundamentally political. Politics is not founded on cause, but rather on cultivating the support of the pertinent electoral demographics and personnel. This realization should either lead him to a path of contrition or compel him to resign honorable, thus preserving whatever dignity remains. As a party member, his going discord with established positions has escalated into outright dissent and unhealthy dynamic that poses a grave threat to collective unity. You see, he acknowledges the power of the dissent that Chiwenga has been actually doing, that it will actually undermine the unity that he is speaking about. It's a fake unity. Now he goes on to celebrate President Geza's death. He says, now my Sekuru Geza bombshell, who was very much aligned with him, is dead and gone just like that. He should have been dead and gone just like what Temba Mliswa. I mean, these are hypocrites. He pretended to be actually sympathetic with crocodile eyes. I mean, with crocodile tears. Now the very same person is celebrating. What do you think the family will say when speaking such a nonsense? Temba Mliswa is a charlatan. We call him in Ndebele Umgodoyi. Now, let me continue. This should also be a lesson and warning to many excitable people that unless you demand equal personal investment from those you purport to defend, you risk being exploited and discarded while they remain enjoying. No statement on his death, no bata mahoko. So let me not say liquidly. We will see how it goes. Now it's Temba Mliswa celebrating. Let me hear people commenting. I'll take about 5 comments. It says, "Iwe Temba, you talk too much. Guys, Geza was a grown man. He made his bed. People die for their convictions. What is your personal issue with Chiwenga? Why can't you let him do him? Why can't you let him do him and do you?" Okay. English. Someone says, always say don't touch the constitution. Pachikanda ndiani asina jende anoda kuitwa mai nini akatarisa. Someone says, ada kudya imbwa ngadye hono inokwana here ma citizens September imbwa hono iri 1. Huh? Okay, someone says, all you want to say is Chiwenga must resign because he's resisting the mutilation of the constitution. You didn't see anything wrong with what's happening. You only see Chiwenga. Gatsiriswai fungwa mukuru. Someone say, iti zwaitu kwa pamarari mazuba amkabe. Agati ku resign. One thing I like about Zimbabweans, they are very intelligent and they don't forget history. Temba Mliswa is just tackled like that. Even Mnangagwa, how long was he insulted by Robert Mugabe? Did he resign? He didn't resign. He waited for him to, in fact, he didn't wait. He was fired. He was defeated from ZANU-PF. And when he was defeated, he ran to South Africa, just like what he did to Blessed Geza. Blessed Geza, seeing that his life was under threat, he went to South Africa. So this is what Mnangagwa did. Who protected him there? It is the same retired General Chiwenga that today is making him a laughing stock, sending individuals like Temba Mliswa to do what they are doing to him. He did not resign. So similarly, Chiwenga would be poked, would be mocked by Temba Mliswas. And how many people died, in an effort to actually put Mnangagwa into power? How many people died? Many people died trying to defend Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa's bid to presidency. It so happens in a struggle, that's what happens. There are casualties in a struggle. It happens. It's not something that is new. That doesn't mean. And also during the time of Robert Gabriel Mugabe, who was agreeing with, Chiwenga is a man, he has balls. Did Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa, directly oppose Robert Gabriel Mugabe? Or he wrote his funny letter when he was now hiding in a certain cave in South Africa, realizing that the military had already started doing its job. Mnangagwa never, we never had any headline at one point saying Mnangagwa during cabinet meeting stood and opposed Mugabe. He was just sitting like a chameleon, deceiving Mugabe that he is his supporter. He never even opposed. So he's a coward, Mnangagwa and Chiwenga. Chiwenga is not a coward. He's telling him straight to his face that this is wrong. Unlike that shows that he is a man with balls. And even Blessed Geza, before going to South Africa, he was in Zimbabwe telling him Mnangagwa straight that when Blessed Geza said the only 2030 you will see is 8:30 on your phone or your cell phone. Where was he? He was in Zimbabwe when Blessed Geza did that. He was in Zimbabwe. They even sent some CIOs to try and eliminate him. He was in Zimbabwe. When he saw that the threat was becoming too much, that is when he relocated to South Africa. He died fighting. He's a soldier, Blessed Geza. He's unlike Mnangagwa. If it wasn't for Chiwenga in Mnangagwa, Mnangagwa would be history, would be forgotten. In the history of Zimbabwe, the only thing that he would be known for is his village. Kukuraunde genocide, killing the general, attempting to kill retired General Chiwenga, and 2030 that will only be realized in his watch. Nothing more than that. That should be said so loudly and clear. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars.